man. We were probably in like opposite modes right now. This is like my bedtime right now, and I'm actually pretty tired. Whereas I imagine it's a little bit earlier in your day. You've probably got the amount of energy I normally have when we're talking.
I don't know how much energy that is. Maybe I would
Almost
say,
none.
yeah, if it's like a low amount. Got a little spunk in my voice, maybe, but definitely aggravating day, week, month. So it's one.
Yeah,
It's like I need to keep my energy level up just to like make it through. But it's not a happy energy. It's like it's an angry energy.
it hasn't been your week or month or even your year.
I almost thought that was going to be that other song, but that's the Friends song. Yeah,
Yeah.
week or month or yeah, it's been a good year, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, is that your kid yelling or mine?
No, that's yours.
Okay.
Mine's been asleep for a
Oh,
little while.
and oh, lucky you. Yeah. See, this is why I usually do the early mornings. It's a struggle to get time. Hold on while I
Oh
shut the
my!
door very quickly.
Shut the front door.
All right. Oof. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
So,
what's new and exciting?
new and exciting. I beat all the scenarios in SimCity.
Nice.
Yes, excellent. Now, when you beat all of them, it opens up. You may or may not know. It
This was
opens
the
up.
Super Nintendo one, right?
Yes, yes, the SimCity. It opens two new scenarios. One is Las Vegas, where aliens attack, which is a special scenario because aliens do not attack in the normal game. All the other disasters happen, so you get earthquakes and whatnot. And
I
it
thought I
also,
thought you were going to say it's special because aliens do not attack in real life.
actually, let me think. I think all the other disasters are actual disasters. Yeah, yeah. Well, the other scenario is not really a scenario. It's called Freeland, and it's just like a giant blank. Like the map is just nothing.
Yeah.
Um, but because there's no water and you have maximum land area, you can build the biggest city possible. And so my
Hmm.
whole goal with unlocking the scenarios was to get that, so I could get the Metropolis, or wait, sorry, the Megalopolis.
Megatropolis. Oh, Megalopolis, right?
Megalopolis, which each stage of city size has its own cool music by I can't remember her name, but she did the music for SimCity and then a whole bunch of other early Super Nintendo classics. And so I always like to get that Megalopolis and get that funky beat on the biggest city size.
Huh.
Yeah, SimCity is like, I mean, you kind of page in and play it for 5 minutes and then set it down for a long time. And so I can like play and like do work stuff.
Nice.
So I've actually managed to cram a game into my schedule. So that's been nice. You must be
Nice.
trying to talk over my screaming kid.
Yeah, that's not getting edited out. There's no way.
Yeah, maybe he'll stop.
I'll run like a high pass filter on there so it's just the bass sounds.
Yeah, some strategy must be employed. How about you? How are you? What's new?
I started playing Ristar
What, like the
from the
Genesis?
yeah Genesis. Yeah,
Obviously
it's
not on a Genesis.
no. I'm playing the. Let me look it up. I think it's like the Sonic.
The Sega Collection or whatever.
Yeah, Sonic Mega Collection.
Is it the one where you're like in the room and you like literally walk over to the TV to put the game in, or what? Like,
No, no, it's on PS3, not the Steam stuff.
hmm.
I don't remember what it's called. Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection.
And it's like non-Sonic games.
No, the Sonic games are there too. There was 48 Sega games, 49 if you count that there was two versions of Altered Beast.
That's pretty impressive. Except if you pick the best like 49 Genesis games, you'd already be like you'd be running out of good titles already. I'm pretty sure. So I'm
It's not bad.
yeah. What,
Yeah,
Ristar or the collection?
no, well, both actually. I bought that thing. It came out in 2009, so I bought it around then, and went to Australia and just never really ended up playing anything from it.
Hmm.
I think I played Flicky back in the day.
Sure.
I think I played a little bit of the original Golden Axe, and I think my wife and I played Sonic 2. I don't know if we ever played anything else, but there's a lot of other games, and I actually have intended on playing them for a long time. It's got all four of the original Fantasy Stars.
Have you played any of those?
No,
That's one of
I
those series where it feels like you think to yourself, I want to go and play that because it's a famous series. Then you play it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like probably your experience with Ultima. If you
yeah,
try Fantasy Star, you will be like, I think I can't remember. I think the first Fantasy Star came out for the older Sega,
The
um,
Master System.
slash whatever Mark III slash whatever.
Yeah.
There's all these different names for it. It might have come out for one of their old like computers, but anyway, I think they remade it for Genesis, and I think that one's okay. But if you play the really old one, it's a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must have had a lot of faith in that one because it's an unlockable extra game.
Ooh.
So like if until you have played some stuff, it's like Fantasy Star 2, 3 and 4 are there by default, but if you want to play the first one, you have to actually unlock stuff.
I see. I don't know if
So
it's the
so I
best
feel
gift.
I, I feel like they were probably like forcing it to only be available to the people who actually really wanted to play it and not like accidentally play it.
I'd rather unlock Freeland, I think, than the original Fantasy Star. Does it have a Shining Force? I know you're a big
Yeah,
fan.
yeah, yeah. It's got Shining Force 1 and 2 and Shining in the Darkness, which
Uh,
I had tried to play that one back in like 2013, I think,
mhm.
and it was so wretchedly awful that I just had to stop.
Right on. I've never beaten Shining Force. I've like dabbled. They seem fun, and I just kind of didn't, yeah, go through with it. So it's not that I didn't like them. It's just I have to kind of go back and like give them more of a chance. I was always
I love them.
yeah. They seem really well. They seem pretty good. I'll say. I can see the potential. There's the potential for them to be awesome or
Hmm.
but I was always I mean I'm sure a lot of people were like this, kind of like a like a Nintendo snob.
Hmm.
So there's just no way I would invest significant time into any sort of Genesis game growing up. Um,
Uh, it I don't know why that was the specific game that I played. I'm trying to look up at the release date. The first one was 92 and the second one was 94 in North America. So in summer of 95 I moved from Amherst, Nova Scotia to Truro, Nova Scotia. Um, using both of those town names as like the big central hubs that were nearby the actual smaller locations I lived. Um, but
wait. You lived in Bible Hill.
no, I lived in Valley.
Valley.
It's even more remote than Bible Hill.
People in Bible Hill, even with the name Bible Hill, I'm pretty sure look down on the Valley people. Anyway. You got lots of
um,
game time and nature.
yeah. Well, we moved during that summer, and for whatever reason, I wish I could remember the name of the video rental store in Amherst. But we rented Shining Force 2 during the move. So the whole time that my parents were like unpacking boxes and stuff, I basically got to just sit there in my new bedroom playing Sega Genesis.
That would make Sega Genesis worthwhile, maybe not having to clean. I think I'd do, or not having to unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was an interesting time. So I had like a 2 week period there where I got to just like play this tactical RPG for the Genesis, and of all the games on the Genesis, I feel like that's those two are like some of the best. Like I typically hate Genesis music, but I feel like it works really well for those games.
yeah. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it's like a running joke now, right? Like the Genesis sound chip and just how horrible it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny because like that era was like an era of. I mean, that was when you started getting games that would be on both systems, and the
yeah,
Super Nintendo version was always so much better. Like it just looked better, and the sound
yep.
chip was better, and you had more than three buttons. It blows my mind that the Sega Genesis controller has a start button and then three buttons.
You know, there was a Genesis controller with 6 buttons. Um,
Later, yes, there was.
later, and you know when I got into playing Street Fighter 2, I was doing that on Genesis, and it felt to me way better with the 6 button controller on Genesis than it did on Super Nintendo with the shoulder buttons.
Yeah, so that's the thing though. I feel like that particular game is really arcadey and suits that controller, and the
Hmm.
controller came out on Genesis for that game, really. Like
Hmm.
no anyone who didn't have that controller couldn't play that game, and anyone who
Yeah,
wanted to play the game had the controller. And every other game
yeah,
didn't use the 6 button controller. So you would just
yeah.
have games that just didn't they were made with a 3 button controller in mind. But then like I don't know, the shoulder buttons to me on the Super Nintendo were like so awesome, right? Like wow, shoulder buttons, right? Like, that
Yeah.
was so cool back in the day. But it's funny to think the Genesis controller has the same amount of buttons as the original Nintendo controller. And we know it came out before Super Nintendo, so it came out almost like to compete with the normal Nintendo. But still, like Super Nintendo expanded that by four more buttons, which is quite impressive when you think about it. I think.
I like that. I like that I actually have a Genesis controller on my desk right now, and instead of looking at that to confirm whether or not you were telling the truth, I googled the image.
Nice.
um, yeah, you're right. I for some reason thought I remember there being a select button on
Nope.
Genesis.
Just move that select over, and you have 3 buttons instead of two, and that's your Genesis
Yeah,
controller.
I always found it weird that like more games didn't make use of the select button on the NES.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Genesis. I mean, if you're only going to have 4 buttons, then like
Yeah,
I guess maybe it's a logical design choice.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of I don't know waste, I guess.
Um, Ristar's interesting though. I had never played it before. I knew nothing about it. It was just I'm looking at my list of games that I own and wanted to pick a short one, and supposedly that's only like 3 hours long or something. But it holds up quite well. I'm
Excuse me.
only a little bit into it.
I mean,
Um,
it's a platformer, right?
it's a platformer. It was so they made that one. Sega had this thing where they really wanted to have like mascots. So like they made Sonic, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we need more mascots. And I believe Dynamite Heady was a
Yeah.
thing, and then they demanded another mascot. So they came out with Ristar. And it's the game holds up. It's like I remember really finding Sonic appealing at first play because like the colors were bright and it was like kind of cheery and everything was kind of cartoony and stuff. It was cool, but I really hated the speed aspect to it.
Did people like that? I've never met someone who really truly liked it because you had
I don't.
so little screen, you could not see what was coming. You
Yeah,
just die.
you could never see what was coming. Like the whole I don't know. I'm one of those people that I hate time limits on levels. I like to be able to just explore at my own pace. I hated in Mario 3 like the any of the automatic panning levels.
Everyone does.
Like
Yeah.
I like to be able to take my own time, and so I that was the thing that I hated about Sonic is like it seemed like it had a lot of potential, but you didn't have the ability to explore really because you're just like bouncing all over the place, and there is a timer as well. So if you try to backtrack to explore for some of the stuff, you kind of end up running out of time. Um,
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think especially like there's a website you can find out there. It's like the physics of Sonic, and they go into
mhm,
great detail with like the engine behind it and how the physics
mhm,
work and stuff. It's interesting, and I think
mhm,
they polished it later, and especially like at the time with all the hills you could run up and stuff, it was impressive because I mean it was
mhm,
very different than how Mario worked and stuff. But like I don't know, I just it doesn't hold up the best to me. Like he does weird things, like when you try and run, like if you're stationary and you try and run up a
mhm,
hill, he like
mhm.
goes so slow and then suddenly he's fast and then there's just
Yeah.
weird things that happen depending on the directions and stuff. And I don't know. I find I guess you're right. Like Sonic was just it felt like an interesting, maybe even groundbreaking game in a lot of ways, but just not really
Mhm,
fun. Like I think I'm all about. I mean, we all are, of course, but you know, like variety. And so, like, I
mhm.
loved that this game came out in a world where everyone was just playing Mario and an endless stream of kind of slower moving, older Nintendo games and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I would never choose it as an alternative to Mario. Like just everything about it felt significantly worse to me. I don't know about the timer thing. I think I agree. I'd almost like a variety there too. Like I almost like it'd be neat to have a Mario stage that's
Mhm.
big and kind of goes all over the place and there's no timer. And
Well, it
then
was Mario 2, right?
it
I
was, yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Doki
you're right.
Doki Panic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So it wasn't even Mario really, right? But I
yeah.
mean, yeah, effectively, yeah. I mean, there's no reason it wasn't like a technical limitation that they had to have it.
Mhm.
Someone at some point decided it was a good idea, and it persisted through like every game. I think even
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island had a timer, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Did it
Uh,
actually? Maybe I don't
Mario
remember.
World 2.
You had the baby timer when you lost the baby.
Yeah. God. I mean, the sound in itself was a deterrent to
To
getting hit.
play.
Mario World 2. Maybe I have to actually type Yoshi's Island to get any good screenshots.
I'm pretty sure it had a timer,
Um,
but I
no,
don't know.
no timer for that one.
I just remember being in these
There.
crazy maze levels and being lost forever, which is why I thought maybe there was no timer. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm looking at a screenshot. Yeah, yeah, there is no timer. Yep, yep. Also, one
But
thing I do like, I like that the baby timer actually recharges. So if you
yeah,
just get the baby back in time, like that was actually a really good idea. I thought.
yeah. Yeah, it was just the sound that I hated. Like I had to play that game on mute.
The baby screaming, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was bad. The music was good.
and and then I realized that it wasn't half as bad as an actual crying baby once I became a parent.
Yeah, uh, yeah. I try two, man.
No thanks.
Brutal. um,
Um,
have you played Gunstar Heroes?
yeah, at your place, I think back in like 2011.
Good memory. What do you think?
It was fun. It
Yeah,
was like, I
I liked
mean,
it. Yeah, I like it as two player. That was kind of neat.
yeah,
It was like
yeah.
Sega's
That's
Contra.
that's what I was gonna say about Sonic 2. Is like that to me was what made that exciting was that like the second player could be
Hmm.
Tails,
Hmm.
but again because of the whole speed issue, it was kind of frustrating because like Sonic would play through the level and then Tails would just get left behind and then have to automatically find himself back on screen after a few seconds.
Yep. Have you played any of the Twin B series at all?
I don't even know what that means.
So there's a game series that came out on the original Nintendo, possibly in the arcades first or something. I don't know, but it was called Twin B. There was three on the original Nintendo. It was one of those games that like I grew up with because it was on my like multi carts and stuff. But it's one of the very early games that's like it's a scrolling game, but it's kind of just one screen and you like drop bombs on the ground. It was fun when that was back in the day. And then they made a second one and it was like from the side and kind of weird. It was one of the greatest. And they made a third one that was really awesome. But when they got to the Super Nintendo, they started making like these random like there was still a Super Nintendo one that was a lot like the original and some stuff. But they had one, I forget what it was called. It was called like Rainbow Dash or something. I forget what it was called, but it was basically Sonic on Super Nintendo. And you
Hmm.
use these Twin B guys, but they flew. So just imagine Sonic flying, like Superman fist forward, blast like crazy across the screen. And it was actually really fun. And part of it, I think, is like Sonic, I found when you're running, you're very
Mhm.
vulnerable. But in this game, you're basically like a Superman, like you put your fist forward and just dash through the sky and smash through everything. Like it was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And it was so weird because no one's heard of this game. But it was like, and it also kind of proved, like, you probably remember the whole blast processing and Super
Mhm.
Nintendo was so
Yeah, yeah.
slow. Like they could totally do this kind of game, no problem, right? I wish I remembered the name of it. I would find it in a minute. But
I love that the blast processing basically was just marketing hype and meant almost nothing.
and totally nothing. Yeah, totally nothing.
Everyone still has this illusion that Genesis was so much faster because of its blast processing.
Well, I mean, they really sold it with
Yeah.
Sonic and stuff. Yeah, it's called Twin Bee Rainbow Bell Adventure, which is like the lamest name in the universe, but the game actually is really fun. Check out like a video of it or something sometime. Whew. And you can play two
Nice.
player at the same time. It was cool.
Nice.
I remember at some point they actually justified blast processing as something like it was referring to some like the processor architecture or something, even though it wasn't even anything. Like it wasn't like measurably faster
Yeah.
by any benchmark. It was just the kind of the name they gave to it so that they could actually claim like, yeah, trust me, we didn't make it up.
Yeah. Oh man, there's like I just wanted to search for what it is, and there's like this whole big long like 2,000 word essay about it. Nice. Blast processing essentially uses the entirety of the 68,000 CPU time you can run blast processing on a Mega Drive game, but you'd be unable to run anything with it.
I don't
Uh,
know if that. I'm still kind of confused.
so it's useless for standard cartridge games, but could conceivably have been used on Mega CD games.
Ooh, 32X.
Yeah,
The funny thing is, like, Sega had all their dumb, like, peripherals, like the 32X and stuff, and they had blast processing. But Super Nintendo had, like if you play it, it has, like, really good, what do they call those, like, transparency effects, like color layering for, like, that
yeah,
era. Like, Nintendo didn't have that, and the Super Nintendo really had that. And Sega kind of had it, but it looked like shit. And then, like, Super Nintendo also had Mode 7, had the Super FX chip, and you could, like, see what that was. It wasn't just, like, some bullshit on the commercial. So I
yeah.
don't know. It was easy to be a Nintendo fanboy back in the day because you had a lot of ammunition.
So supposedly what it did was uh, it updated the color palette faster. So even though like there was a palette limitation, it was I guess effectively able to update it as the CRT screen moved from left to right. So like during the active scan.
That is blast processing. That's way less cool than it was on the commercials.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you had to
That's
you
it though.
had to.
They kind of have that in their back pocket. So if anyone asks you, you have some technical explanation of something you can do that Super Nintendo cannot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like that was the whole thing. It was like literally they were looking for something that they could say that Sega did that Nintendo don't.
Yeah, like very literally. Yes.
I can't believe I messed that up and said Nintendo don't instead of Nintendo.
You can edit it after. It's not too late.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, all that was to say that Ristar um, doesn't have a time limit. It's not super fast like Sonic. It's kind of easy, but it's kind of fun. You got like a little character that walks around, and he's essentially got a grapple hook that you can fire in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 8 directions.
You hit the count up,
Yeah,
down,
and then
left, right, and the diagonals.
well, I even gave up on counting partway through because I'm so tired, and then I just recited the 8 that I know to be true.
It's a lucky guess. Nice. Nice. How far are you?
um, I finished the first 2 stages, and I don't know how many there are in total. By stages, I mean planets.
Cool.
So there was 3 stages in each of those planets,
Cool.
and the joyous feature of it being on the PS3 is that there's like a
Save
save
states,
state.
basically. Right on, right on.
So
Yeah, the so I have all these flashcards, so I get all the games, and there's actually a save state option on them too, which is actually really awesome. You just do like some weird button combination. It's like up and select, I think, saves the state, and then down and
mhm,
select loads the state.
yeah,
But then, of course, you get that occasional game that actually uses that weird ass combination and just screws everything.
nice.
More common than you'd think. I actually usually turn those off because I'm like a weird purist, but
Yeah,
definitely for like that kind of game where it's like, I mean, what's the difference? It's not even really to cheat, right? It's just to like
yeah.
break your session across multiple evenings or whatever. Did I go on about the Sega Contra last time? I forget, or the time before.
Um,
Sometime have I gone on about it?
maybe I don't remember.
Well, really quick, I discovered it recently just because I was perusing the Sega library and I had not like grown up with it or anything.
Yeah.
It's actually really awesome. I would go with that as another like noteworthy call out on the Sega the blast processing enabled Sega Genesis. The way it plays is just a lot different than the other Contras. I find like you don't just die in one hit, and like there's all these different characters you can choose from. It's just like an alternative Contra.
Hmm.
Maybe it's like the alternative Castlevania we played. I guess, know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and it's 2 player, and it's all those things.
It's
So I
like
don't know if you're like a Contra person, but
Contra Hardcore.
is that what it's called? Oh,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like Hard Corpse or something.
Well, it's yeah, but that's how you pronounce corpse as core.
I think you
So
pronounce it like French. I thought it was. I'm pretty sure when we were kids we said corpse every time we saw that word. Or I
probably.
did. I did. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
It
there
means
was
it's like body, right? Hard body,
uh,
or is it like military
it's like
corpse?
corporation or something. I don't know.
Cool.
But yeah, it's like the Marine Corps.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what? Yeah, there was what Blast Corps on N64.
Maybe I kind of paged out of the whole N64 era altogether. I think.
It was a rare game.
Back when Rare was independent of Microsoft.
Yeah, I was surprised that when Microsoft bought them, they're still putting out games for other stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're basically an entirely different company, really, though, of course. But yeah, it's weird, right? Because they used to do nothing but Nintendo exclusives for such a long time, and
Yeah,
then Microsoft bought them. Like it was just such a weird thing. I thought,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. They Don Matrick. Um, yeah. There's like a they've been working on a new Battletoads.
For Xbox.
Yeah, I think so. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I just found it. I guess like they were fine with Banjo and Kazooie being added into Smash. Maybe that's the only recent thing they've done that was on something else. I remember people being surprised at that.
Did that series also go to Microsoft, or did it just kind of die? I think it
Um,
did, didn't it?
I mean, Rare, yeah, Microsoft owns Rare, and they put them all on the Rare collection, whatever it was, which
Well,
I have on
I
Xbox One.
I just didn't know if it was like actually a Nintendo thing and Rare was just the developer. Like they also made Donkey Kong, right? But
Right.
It's like they didn't get Donkey Kong or anything, so I thought maybe the Banjo Kazooie stayed with Nintendo for some whatever reason.
No, they kept Battletoads and they kept Solar Jetman and
Didn't
Snake Rattle and Roll.
Oh, that was actually a really awesome game. Kind
Yeah,
of.
I love that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating beyond belief in many ways,
Yeah, yeah.
but fun.
Well, the thing that I always found difficult with isometric games with a controller is that I don't know, the buttons don't push you in the direction that makes sense.
You had to hold the controller on a diagonal.
Yeah, I guess.
Was it like that? I mean, I think it was even like that on Final Fantasy Tactics, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I guess maybe you could control it with the analog stick, but I'm pretty sure you just had to like literally hold the stick diagonally.
Well, I never found it an issue with like tactical stuff or
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
chessboard or something because it's like you choose where you want it to go and then you confirm it. You don't
yep,
just press the button and try to walk in that direction.
yep.
Yeah, in some ways though, like that, going back to Shining Force, like that was part of what was more natural in that compared to something like Tactics was that the grid was straight up and down and left and right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think,
Shining Force, or not Shining Force, Fire Emblem.
yeah, yeah. For like the whole series, right? There's something I don't know. There's something about that simplicity. Like, I remember when Civilization 2 came out, and it was like isometric suddenly, and I think like left, right, up, down actually went left, right, up, down,
Hmm.
not in line with the grid, but it was still kind of weird. Like I just find like the overhead grid it's simple and easy. I guess isometric's not so bad, but yeah, I don't know. What am I talking about? It's like FTL to Into the Breach too, right?
I still need to play Into the Breach.
You haven't played it for like even 1 second.
No, not for 1 second. I
Did you
bought it.
get it Steam?
No, I didn't buy it. I got it for free from Epic.
Along
It's
with
the
like
same as buying
300
it.
other games. Yeah.
You know what? With the free games from Epic, I've actually stopped. I like don't even think to go to the website anymore on the Thursdays to get the games because I found that they've just been so bland and not my interest for the past few months.
I first of all didn't know it was Thursdays that they came out on, so I've
Yeah.
been very irregularly, kind of sporadically checking, and I tend to mindlessly download it, but nothing has excited me in a while. I feel like it's been a lot of games I haven't heard of recently
Hmm.
too, which
Yeah.
is fine, maybe even great, but just where I'm kind of time constrained these days for a while, it's like if it was like some game I was excited about, I might actually pop it in for 5 minutes
Yeah.
instead of like I don't know needing to be convinced.
I don't know. Every now and then there's one that I don't know. I can't think offhand of one that I've played. Oh, Superliminal. No, I bought that one. Yeah, I don't think there's any games that I got for free from them this year that I actually played. That I got Hitman back in last year for free, and I played that this year.
Did you finish it?
Yep, it was. I can see why it was popular when it came out. Like I think the third one just came out, and I'm sure they've improved on it quite a bit. It feels weird. It's like, did you ever play Ground Zeroes, the Metal Gear Ground
No,
Zeroes?
no.
That was a game that
PSP?
no on a I think it was PlayStation 4. I got it on Steam. I
Sure,
don't
why
I
not?
don't know. I don't. It's probably available on everything
Yeah.
wherever games are sold. Let me look it up. Ground Zeroes. Um, PlayStation 3, 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. So yeah, it's available on everything basically. It was a game that was fairly heavily criticized when it came out because I think it was basically uh, like if you played through the campaign a single time, it was like a couple hours long and that's it.
I kind of vaguely remember they came out with like a few versions of five or something.
Well, they yeah, it was like
A
a
pre,
prequel, I guess.
but
To
didn't they actually come out with one before the big? Like it wasn't like they came out with five and then a bunch of spin-offs. Didn't they come out with like a spin-off first or something? Is this what that was? Or am
yeah,
I
yeah, that's what this was.
okay? Yeah.
And so it came out, and people were pretty frustrated with it because it was so short. And then so there's Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, and then Phantom Pain
Hmm.
was like the full fledged thing, which most people love. I haven't had a chance to play it really.
Hmm.
Um, but Ground Zeroes was interesting in that it was basically a sandbox like playground type thing, and there were like several different missions, and like guard placement and like different conditions and stuff would change depending on which mission you selected. And I ended up putting in like 24 hours, I think, into this game that was kind of small, and I really liked it. Like it felt really neat to be able to like play in this environment and like have different challenges and stuff.
Sounds cool to me.
Um, and that's kind of what Hitman is. It's like
Hmm.
it kind of encourages you to play through each campaign several times, but I found that it was a little bit too shallow of an experience. When did it come out? Hitman game. The first one came out in 2016,
Hmm.
which is 2 years after Ground Zero. So I don't know. I
Define
don't think that
shallow.
it's very easy to win.
Okay.
Um, I feel like the UI is constantly like prompting you and telling you exactly what you need to do.
I hate
Um,
that.
I felt like there were too many circumstances where I didn't really understand what I was going to do. Um, like so, if you can like knock out almost anyone and then just like steal their clothes and then you're like can disguise yourself as them,
Hmm.
but then it's like if you take out a security guard, most people aren't going to pay attention to you anymore because you're a security guard. Except
Hmm.
if you get compromised, it doesn't matter which security guard you steal an outfit from. Like from now on, you're compromised whenever you look like a security guard. But if you look like anything else, people don't care about you anymore. So it's like it's weird in that it like will temporarily limit what costume you have, and depending on what costume you have, like if you're kitchen staff, I guess you can go in the kitchen area, but maybe if you're like a government security guard versus like a building security guard, you don't know which rooms you're able to go into until you're already in there and it's telling you that you're trespassing.
I see. So people can recognize that you're not supposed to be there because you're the wrong kind of security guard.
Yeah. But it's like you don't know until you are already in the room and everyone's recognizing you. And I don't know. It's really weird. Like whenever you would go into the stealth mode, it would show you exactly who will identify you and stuff. And it I felt like there weren't enough contextual clues unless you were using like the HUD. And
Hmm.
then when you use the HUD, it gave you too much information. So it was like either really hard or really easy.
I see. It's hard to comment without having played it, but
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
But I don't know. Otherwise, it doesn't encourage replayability in quite the same way, in my opinion, as Ground Zeroes, because with Ground Zeroes they like totally shift stuff up, and like each mission you can there's like an intended way that you can play it, whereas with Hitman all of the options are available simultaneously, so it's kind of up to you to decide which one you're going to do. But like all the guards are laid out identically no matter what, so whether you're going to choke someone or like lead them into a bathroom and shoot them or something, it really doesn't matter. So I don't know, it's weirdly open-ended and
And weirdly the
easy.
same.
And so I don't know, instead of giving you one course, they give you like 6 or 7 or something, but it feels like I'm missing out by not replaying because I can see all these achievements and stuff associated with all the other ways I could kill people.
But
but
then
but then I don't actually want to replay it because that's it feels like that's the only reason I would be doing it is for the achievements.
I see. I see. I see. It's kind of like how I felt maybe with Cyber Shadow. Like I really enjoyed most things about that game, but I felt like you had to kind of go back to get all the power ups,
Hmm.
and the only reason you're going back is for the power ups. It's not like the story kind of guides you back through an area you've been in
Yeah.
but now you have some power up that lets you, smash a door to get into the room to get the power up. It's like you remember
Hmm.
that door was there, so you go back specifically for it.
Yeah.
I compare it to, like, I don't know, Link to the Past. All my
Hmm.
references are 30 years old. Like, at the start of the game, you'd walk by this like weird boulder in the wall and be like, "Huh, okay, what's that?" And then
Yeah.
later you get bombs, and then you figure out that's what they do, and then you're walking back past that place because you have to go to the other side of the screen to get to a different level, and then
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know, design
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I think that backtracking sort of thing for worked really well in a game like Link to the Past in the overworld. Like,
Hmm.
I can't think of any times they would like hide something in the dungeons themselves and force you to like
No,
go back into those. Um, and I think that's the same with like Super Metroid. There's
yeah.
actually Super Metroid had like a lot of secrets and stuff that I remember were like in like the very beginning section of the game, and it's like you wouldn't be able to do them until you got like the speed booster and stuff. So there was definitely a lot of just like trying to remember and explore stuff. I will say I did finally play through Metroid Dread,
Hmm.
and I feel like they solved that problem a lot better than in
Interesting.
previous games. Like they kind of give you reasons now and then to travel through the old sections,
Hmm.
and it felt fairly natural when they did that. Um,
Cool.
so which is to say, I think the last time I talked about Metroid Dread on the podcast, I put 9 minutes in and
You were whining
hated
about
it.
it a bit.
Um, the concerns that I had in that initial 9 minutes, I ended up still having through almost the rest of it, but the the game was really solid. I feel like it um, I wish it had been done slightly differently, but at the
Hmm.
same time, it really felt like they took the gameplay of Super Metroid and expanded upon that and made it new and interesting.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
So I
I
recommend that.
Yeah. I don't know. I am like everyone else, and I love that genre of like kind of like Metroidvania or whatever. But I've always hated the backtracking part of it, or like when you get
Hmm.
stuck and you don't know what to do and you're just wandering everywhere.
Yeah.
I kind of like when, I mean, you can think of a game. Let's say a game with like a heavy narrative element, and there's like maybe some backtracking, but you're backtracking to where there's characters, and then you're talking to them, and they're telling you different things, or things have changed, and someone's not there anymore. Like when
Like
it's just
Castlevania
like,
too.
well, some games do it better than others, perhaps. But I was actually thinking of what's that game called? Do you remember Draken?
I know of it, but I didn't play it.
Okay, well, the sequel to Draken, I think it's called Dragon View. In Japan, it's called Super Draken. Anyway, whatever. But it's that kind of game where you have to like kind of go all across this world. It's really neat. It's like got a double dragon kind of view, but like it's like a beat 'em up, but not really. It's like a beat 'em up RPG with, but it's then it's kind of like say Zelda 2, where it's like you have a world map, and then you go into the levels, and then it's like the double dragon view. It's really fun and interesting,
Hmm.
but you end up backtracking a lot. But you're just talking to people, and like the story's developing and stuff. I kind of like it like when they do that,
Hmm.
but I feel like if there's anything I could call it that I didn't like about Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night and so forth, it's like just that feeling of like having to go back through this area, and it's just not even that interesting. The speed boost and even the like you get to be a wolf or whatever in Symphony of the Night, like those things that sped it up were
Hmm.
nice, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you might enjoy Metroid Dread. I think it kind of deserves the praise it's been getting. Like I said, it you'll backtrack for stuff, but it feels more
Hmm.
um, justified.
Cool.
There's I feel like there were puzzles to collect super missiles and missiles and stuff in Super Metroid, that like figuring out how to wall jump and use your speed boost and stuff. I feel like that was a really large part of the fun of
Hmm.
that game, and I feel like they really did that in this too. Like there's some really fun puzzles to try to collect the missiles. What's weird is that they made it so easy to replenish your missiles that like you it really doesn't matter how many you have.
Yeah,
Like they replenish as you're fighting bosses and stuff. So it's just like I never felt like I was going to run out.
that's something I kind of don't like about a lot of games, the way they do things, where it's like you find yourself collecting these things not because you need them for any reason, but just because it's part of the game and you're kind of just being a completist or something, or it's
Yeah,
just fun to do that puzzle. Like I
yeah,
kind of wish more games would really force you to do that. Like I
yeah,
remember, I know we're just talking all over the place with all these different games, but I probably brought this one up before too. But Xenogears, have you played
yeah.
it?
No,
You,
no. You've asked me, and my answer was no because I heard the text speed was too slow.
oh yeah, we had this conversation. Yes, yes. Well, I finished it, and it's interesting because imagine it's like you have all these RPGs where it's like, oh, I'm too weak to get through this area. Just walk in
Yeah,
circles for 2 hours and power your
yeah,
character up, and now it's no problem. Xenogears, it's like you kind of have two development. Like you have the characters, and they work mostly like that, but then you have their mechs that they ride in, and they
yeah,
don't gain levels like that. But you basically just buy improved like armor and stuff.
yeah.
And so the sections that are mech based, there's always like up until that point in the game, there's like the best armor, the best weapon, the best whatever you can have, and you
Hmm.
can't just level yourself up to get through it because it's too hard right now. You just need to make sure you have those best armors, or if you can't find them, you just go through and hope you can do it. And like I don't know, it like really motivated you to like do the crazy puzzles and find like go deep in the crazy labyrinth as the people, as the humans, and like find that crazy rare armor or something, and then you could like actually use it to get through the robot part. And it was like really fun and interesting. I probably told this story before, but like I remember at the very end of the game, there's like some, I could be remembering it wrong. Maybe someone who knows everything about this game was laughing at this comment. But you go into like the last level, and as far as I can remember, or as far as I knew at the time, you couldn't really go out once you went
Hmm.
in. Or maybe I just didn't want to because it was such a god awful long last level, and I had a save point at the end or whatever. But I didn't have the best armor, and trying to beat the boss without the best armor. I remember being stuck on the boss in that game for like 2 months, just every day trying, like just forever and ever and ever and ever.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's just neat. I thought that was a good idea to have like real motivation to collect stuff. So like in what you're saying in Metroid, it's like if I have 50 missiles and I'm just getting them all the time, do I really need a power up that's going to let me carry 55?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
you definitely don't in Metroid Dread. It felt like I recently played Samus Returns,
Mm-hmm.
and in that one it felt necessary to collect all that stuff. Like it felt like it really helped to have those. Like fighting the Omega Metroids and stuff was
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
it was a challenge. It was really hard.
I remember
Um,
in I remember in Metroid 2, like with the starting amount of missiles, or maybe even Metroid 1, but
mhm,
like you didn't have enough to destroy certain bosses, right? Like they
mhm.
took more hits than you had maximum missiles. And obviously you want to get as many as you can because you have to afford to miss sometimes and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, Metroid Dread. I collected 100%, but it was mostly just because it was like fun to try to figure out
Mm-hmm.
how to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Vanity points.
it definitely lost points for all the similarities that there were to Metroid Fusion for me.
Adam or whatever.
Yeah, Adam never shutting up and just like
Oh, really?
telling you a story that is just like uh, I already figured it out. What I, like it was just pointless for him to be telling me stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the same thing where like the SAX I think would be like hunting you. They had that sort of thing here where there's things hunting you, and
Mm-hmm.
if you get caught by them, you're just instantly dead. Um,
Hmm.
so it was like not like on the plus
Fun.
side they it was weird because they give you save points, and I guess that's useful if you want to turn off your game. But like when you die against bosses and stuff, like because they have these instant death stuff, they would just put you like right back in the room before where you died.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of also made save points feel pointless.
I see.
So I
Have
don't
you?
know those like stealth sections or whatever. It just it felt frustrating and not fun because it's like this thing is going to kill you. You just got to try to avoid it, but it'll be in like a slightly different spot each time you enter the room. So it's not like there's a pattern that you are trying to figure out. So I don't know. I just didn't enjoy that component.
But you mostly enjoyed the game. It sounds like outside of that.
Yeah, I'd say I'd say maybe second favorite Metroid game, even though I found it kind of frustrating. Like I feel like where it really excelled.
Hmm.
So I like the one that I played on 3DS, Samus Returns most, and then maybe
Yeah.
this, and then Super Metroid.
Cool. Cool. I mean I haven't played any Metroids at all, so I haven't played the two new ones.
they're uh, they're good. This one I don't think will hurt your hands. Uh, it your hands cramp up a little bit on the 3DS one.
3DS has like the worst D-pad thing ever with the sliding disc thing.
Yeah, I didn't even find that bad. Like it worked fairly well with the joystick. It was
Mm,
a matter of like you have to aim so much of the time and use missiles so much of the time that you're constantly holding down the shoulder buttons.
I see.
And it's just like when you're trying to hold this console in your hands and you're like pressing in with your index fingers the whole time almost, it wears you down.
Yeah, got it, got it. Didn't they have? I'm kind of remembering when 3DS first came out. Wasn't there like a 3D Metroid? I kind of remember. It was just like Metroid Prime
Yeah,
Mini or something.
there's like Metroid Prime Hunters, I think. I never played that one.
Or maybe that was DS. I don't even remember. Yeah,
Metroid Prime Hunters for regular DS. I didn't play that one.
yeah. I kind
And
of remember. It was like so impressive to see this like Nintendo portable console being 3D or something.
it's apparently on Wii U. You could play it there.
Not like thrilled to play it again, but the
The
good
Wii U
old
in general.
that too. Although it is still set up because after I beat Mario Galaxy 2, I never unhooked it. So I
Right.
don't know if there's. We were talking about maybe playing Zelda. I'd probably play it on the Wii U. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll
the Skyward Sword.
yeah maybe I'll leave it set up
Nice.
for a
Yeah,
while.
I ended up picking up the HD remaster of that or whatever it's called
Hmm.
with my good old
Shoppers Drug
Shoppers
Mart.
Drug Mart. Yep.
Cool Mania. Yeah, I have the murky, ugly, awful Wii one. So
Nice.
you'll get a very different experience. Although actually,
Yeah.
it's a pretty game. I'll say. Like I played the first hour or so quite a while ago, but I think I like the aesthetic more than Twilight Princess, which I
Hmm.
found boring,
Murky.
murky, and like lots of gray, green. Yeah, like this one's kind of I don't know,
Yeah.
interesting. Maybe the HD remaster will do it justice. I don't know.
Well, uh, I don't want to just make up stuff, so I probably shouldn't talk about it until I played it. I feel like I remember when it came out, people were like praising the fact that they like um, streamlined some of the actual game content as well. Like
Like
someone did a how long to first dungeon Zelda. Someone did an article on Gama Sutra back when it was still Gama Sutra.
GameDeveloper.com.
Yeah. How I can't even find it. Maybe because it's not Gama Sutra anymore. In each game, someone had like tested to see like how long does it take to get into each dungeon, um, in each of the Zelda games, and it's like the very first Zelda game. It was like you grab your sword and you walk up a couple maps and you're in your dungeon within like the first 5 minutes, and then
Hmm.
like um, Link's Awakening. I don't remember how long it takes, but it was a bit longer, and then
The
it
Nintendo
was
64 one was forever, right?
yeah, but I think it was something like 3 hours for Skyward Sword.
Oh wow.
So I think they actually streamlined that, and it's down to like half an hour for the HD version.
Half an hour out of 3 hours. When I was playing it, you like start in this like sky town thing, and it's like
Yeah,
it's very yeah. There's like a lot to do to like make the game move forward. I do remember that.
I feel like they it can take as much time, but they give you abilities to skip tutorials. So
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. It's like Zelda always seems to have these stupid things where it's like everyone plays through every Zelda game that comes out, but every time they come out with one, they act as though the person playing has never touched a video game, and they have to
yeah,
teach you every damn thing, and it's tiring. I'll say that.
yeah,
So yeah, ability to skip sounds very welcome.
yeah. I loved that in Twilight Princess. Every time you turned on your game, they treated it as though it was your first time playing, and they explained to you what
The
a blue
rupees.
rupee is.
Why? Who thought that was a good idea? That was incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid. Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
tiring. Well, my least favorite game ever with Final Fantasy VIII, which is Majora's Mask. If you play it, the whole game resets regularly,
yeah,
and everything comes back. You go to the bank for the first time, they talk to you for like 20 minutes to explain how the banking system works. even though you've turned on the game for the 30th time, and you have to do this to be able to access the bank. And you're like, why, right? Like, why would they do this? There's just so many weird choices in that game. We should do an episode on that.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I did buy it.
Why?
Like
It's so
Shoppers
bad.
Drug Mart points.
You threw away points, man. That honestly, that ranks with Final Fantasy VIII for
Yeah.
just my shit list.
I've got it on the 3DS.
That game, I played about 2/3 of the way through it, and then my game got erased. So I've played it almost twice the way through.
Oh, but you haven't beat it.
No, I beat it. I beat it the second time.
Okay.
Like I've suffered, and the same thing with Final Fantasy VIII. I played through it twice. So I'm not just, it's not just memories that are misplaced. It's really fucking miserable, I will say.
Yeah. One of these days we're going to do a playthrough of Final Fantasy VIII.
A wait through. I mean, there's not a lot to do while you're playing the game except wait and watch people talk or screens fade. Anyway, whatever. I can go on about it. But
we can do an episode purely on the demo.
The demo was good, though.
Yeah.
With the music and everything, it was like, whoa, Squall, what a cool character, man. Look at his weapon. And then when you play the game, it's like, okay.
That's February 11th, 1999 is when that came out. So if we wait till February 2024, we can do something special for it.
The game itself or the demo? Because I could have sworn I played the demo in grade 8, which would be 1998.
Yeah, no, the full game was
released
in 99.
Huh. Makes sense.
Just months before the Dreamcast came out.
I had so much more fun with the Dreamcast. Man, Choo Choo Rocket.
Still haven't played it. I still got to do Shenmue.
No, you don't. You should do the first one for a while. It was funny.
Yeah. You never got around to playing the third one, did you?
I think I own it. I think I did the. No, I haven't. I think I have all of them. Because I did the. I think I
the Kickstarter.
Supported the Kickstarter. Yeah.
Nice.
Not really.
I like how you loved it enough to support the Kickstarter, but then it's like if anyone wants to play, you're like, don't play it.
The first one was awesome back in the day, and the second one was okay. So I don't know. I feel like it would be really hard to go back to. That's all.
The number 3s received a lot of controversy because they apparently basically just released number 3 as though it was still back in the year that they should have released the sequel.
Like it looks like shit and plays like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually pretty clever.
It's like they released it pretending that there's been like no history of like the Yakuza games or anything coming out and actually like perfecting gameplay.
Awesome.
So like some people are like really angry that it's just like such a brutally designed game, and other people are just like, this is Shenmue, like
this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shall we wrap?
Yep. Did you play anything this week?
Well, like I said, SimCity. Let me see. What else is on the agenda here?
That was just the sarcasm.
Yes.
We don't need to complete full circle unless you do actually have something.
No, but I will probably build the biggest city I can in Freeland and get that megalopolis. Yes.
Nice. Well, next time we talk, hopefully I'll have completed Ristar, and I've got
coolest kid in town.
Well, I've got 6 more games to beat in the next 8 weeks, and then I'll have beaten 52 games this year.
What's special about 52?
That's how many weeks there are in a year.
Oh, you're going for a game a week?
Yeah, and I'm ahead of schedule.
All right. Just play old games that are like an hour long, and you can do it in 1 month.
Yeah, I did throw some of those in. Like at one point in the year, I was like, you know what, I bet I could do this, and I threw in like a few games that are literally 1 hour long.
Like Kirby's Dream Land or something?
No, like Potato Man Seeks the Truth.
Okay, well, if you haven't beaten Kirby's Dream Land and you're like, it's like December 31st and you have one more game, oh my God, that game takes a half hour to beat.
Yeah.
A half hour. So hold that in your back pocket. And maybe it'll save you, yeah.
I should, because I own that one. But no, I've got a mix of some games that were like an hour and a half and to an hour, and others like
100 hours.
Like Let's Go Eevee was 42 hours, and
wow.
Yeah, Nier Automata was 42, and Hades was 20. Oh, Ghost of Tsushima, that's my long one for the year. That was 59 and a half hours.
I know I put over 100 into Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice. Was that
Not really.
was that this year or last year?
That was a year and a half ago, I think.
Okay.
It was before we moved to the current place. So yeah.
Right. All right. Well, we
Cool.
didn't even hint at the topic we were planning on today, so we'll keep that in our back pocket for next time.
Sounds good.
All right.
Suspense builds. All right,
Yeah.
man. Take care.
Have a good one.
Yeah. See ya.